welcome back to the Wandering Larper. As always, I'm your host, Salvatore. On today's episode of the Wandering Larper, I am going to show you how to make street lamps for your diorama for only a few bucks. So with gathered components from Dollar Tree and Walmart, I'm gonna show you how to make these, and they're gonna look awesome in your diorama. All you're gonna need is a couple of cat stick toys, a couple of LED clip-on reading lamps, a 4-pack of Play-Doh, and just a little bit of imagination and paint. So without further ado, let's jump right into the episode. So here's the LED clip-on book light, and this is where we're going to use those two little micro or small size screwdrivers, the flathead and the Phillips. So let's just open this up. Now what's different and why you want this one particularly is the electronics are housed in the top, so the clip part can just be removed. So you'll notice it's a little difficult. You can't really pull it. You're gonna have to twist it off and it pops right off. We're gonna disregard the clip, okay? Now, before we get in all this trouble and breaking it down and painting it, we're definitely gonna remove the little battery tab and test and see if it works, so that's a go. All right, so we're gonna take the little screwdriver and we're gonna remove that little screw. Now, it's a little tricky. You just wanna torque it, just like that. Apply a little pressure, even. You just don't want to strip it, so you want to go nice and even with it. We've got that screw out. You can see that's a pretty long screw, so you're going to wrestle with that just a little bit, all right? So now you're going to look at the unit that houses all of the electronics and the batteries, and you're going to want to take that little Phillips head. Now, carefully, you're just going to want to go around the edges and just start popping it off, okay? There's the first piece. You're going to hold that off to the side. We're going to paint that. Now, I've seen some people paint this with acrylics and by brush. That's completely wrong. You're going to want to do it this way. This is the right way, okay? I'm going to show you how to make it look awesome. So you're going to want to remove the screws, the battery, everything else. And then you're going to want to get in here on this plate. And you're going to want to go around and create a little space. Okay. You know, don't just yank it off. Just go around with the tiny little Phillips. The tiny little flathead. Everything will come off nice and easy. Everything has its giving point. You just got to wiggle it and get it out. And there you go. Okay. So now there's all the guts and the electronics and the clear part and everything we're not going to paint. So we're going to put that to the side, the batteries to the side, this little screw to the side, and that leaves us with this part right here, okay? And this part right here. And these are the parts we're going to paint. Now we're going to take this part right here, the main of the street lamp, and as you see, it conveniently drops right into there. Awesome, right? Okay, so now we have this giant cat tickler and this street lamp on there. So we look, and obviously we see this is kind of weird and tall if you're putting it with the NECA diorama. So what we're gonna wanna do is kind of get it to where it's more realistic, but still gonna light the figures up, which I think dropping it to about the first floor is gonna be correct, okay? So what we're gonna do is from there, we're just gonna mark it by pinching it off with our fingers, right about there. And then we know we're gonna cut the stick right here. So now you got your scissors ready. You're gonna hold right where you're gonna wanna cut. Okay, now that you've marked the line, holding it, you know it's the perfect cut. So you're gonna wanna apply nice even pressure at the back of the scissors. Okay, it might take a little work and it goes right out. Now that we've got it cut and we've inserted the light, it's gonna look like this. Okay, so this is where the cup comes into play. So I think a perfect size is gonna be right about here for the base. So look at that versus a cup. Okay. That's the little 8-ounce cups from Walmart. So look at that. So to do that, all we're gonna do is we're gonna cut into the cup like that. Then we're just gonna cut around in a nice even circle, okay? And then we're gonna keep standing the cup up till it stands really even. So anything that's like overage, just shave it till it stands real even. Okay, cool. Now, okay, we open up our Play-Doh. It's irrelevant what color because we're gonna paint the Play-Doh too, but I chose green because TMNT for the video, so that's fun. We're gonna keep the lid because the lid is actually gonna come in really handy. Okay, let's remove the Play-Doh. Fun, fun, fun. Squishy fun. I don't know. I feel like Play-Doh's cheaper nowadays. But, you know, whatever. It's the same stuff pretty much. Non-toxic. Bakeable in the oven, which we're going to bake the molds once we create the molds. Okay, so we get a nice meatball. Mamma mia, here comes a meatball. Pop. In there. Okay, we're gonna work it into the spaces. Now you see, you gotta kind of really work it in, okay? And that little cup, you know, one thing of Play-Doh, I don't know if it's just they're giving you less nowadays because that's the way everything is at, you know, the Walmart and big box stores, but it really doesn't amount to too much. So we're gonna do 4 of these, so that's why we needed 4 Play-Dohs. Okay, great. We got it into the mold. Okay, nice. And then we're going to have to pinch it a little bit to get it out. Okay, it's going to remove. Okay, and then what I like to do is just put it back onto the lid, and the lid is going to act like the base of the prop. Okay, obviously we're not going to bake the lid though because it's celluloid. So we look at that, we give it a little more form, maybe pinch it out one more time. Okay, drop it in so that it molds really nice into the cap. We're going to spray paint the cap. So, and the cool part is, you know, with it looking a little bit, you know, clay-like and like, you know, janky like this, kind of, you know, smush it, give it a little feel. New York City, and, you know, where this belongs in the TMNT universe is the Lower East Side of Manhattan, and everything is kind of Gothic architecture there. That's where I grew up, so I'm very familiar with it. So, you know, kind of put little indentations in it, you know, make it look cartoon-like. Now we're gonna put the pole in nice and even, aiming for the center point and push it straight down. Okay, awesome. Okay, now we're just gonna hold the bottom of it firm and pull it out, nice even pressure. Awesome, we left our hole, that is perfect. As you can see, we'll remove the cap and it fits perfectly in the cap, and that's all gonna be, you know, hidden within the paint job that we're gonna do on it. And there you go, this is the little Play-Doh croquette. Now we're gonna take our dough molds in a Pyrex and we're gonna bake it at 250 for 20 minutes. Center rack. Now that our dough molds are done, we're just gonna set them on top of the stove to cool for about 20 minutes. We baked them at 250 for 20 minutes so that they wouldn't crack and fall apart. That's how you handle Play-Doh. Very low heat for an extended period of time. So as soon as those cool, they're good to go to paint. The paints that I chose for these is gonna be a flat black primer, which I'm gonna apply first. Then I'm gonna go over it with a gunmetal gray. Make sure it's in matte because the entire Toon line and everything with the NECA turtles and most other toys look better with a matte display behind it. And then finally, we're going to seal it all in with a matte clear enamel. So let's just go ahead and begin with the flat black primer. And it's okay that it's flat, even though flat has a little shine to it, because we're going to be covering it up with the matte gunmetal gray for the final look. So as you can see, once you put the first base primer layer of black, you can already see the vision coming to life. I can't wait to see them with the matte gunmetal gray. These are gonna look awesome. Now comes the fun part. We're gonna hit it with the matte gunmetal gray. Last step in the painting process, we're going to add matte clear enamel. Key word here is matte. Everything in the NECA and Toon lines is matte. Matte also keeps the reflection back on photography. In case you didn't know that, most people do though. So we're going to go ahead and put this on the matte clear enamel. We're going to seal this up. Now, after the paint's dried and the enamel's dried, they're really easy to work with in this design. We designed it this way so that the part where you need to change the battery is easily accessible. So all you have to do is just remove that part right there. Okay, we're going to grab our light assembly. We're going to line it up. Good, it's a little tricky. There it is, and it squeezes in nicely. There's the back base plate over the batteries. Excellent. Check and make sure the light works. Okay, these are held on by that one screw. So we're just going to go ahead and screw that on down in there. Excellent. Check to make sure everything is snapped down and secured. Okay. Awesome. One more little go around, make sure it's in there good. Okay, then we just grab it back to its bend point, reinsert it into the cat toy, prop it up. Great, turn the lamp on. Now, I took a little tacky and I looked through my TMNT art and I found a whole bunch of wanted posters. So I figured I'd put wanted posters on them all. So there they are, fully assembled, lit up, ready to place in my diorama. I put the 4 wanted posters on them. I'm really happy with the finished results. These are awesome, durable, easy to change the batteries. Let's put them in the diorama and see how they look. So those street lights definitely add flair to the diorama, but it's even cooler when the lights are off.